All right. What's going on here? Welcome, party people. This is Lishpri once again, back at it, doing what we do, baby, doing what we came here to do. You know what I'm saying? I got this call from the Angels, man. I'm just taking attendance. That's all that is. Now, with that being said, what we do here, oh, if this is your first time, welcome. You're welcome. I don't bite motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And as again, welcome back. If this is not your first time, what we do here, we break bread. You already know. So it's that time. You know what I'm saying? Let's just break some bread, man. Let's talk about it. Come get your medicine. Get a plate. So we're back at it. So with that being said, as I stated, what we do here, we talk about spirituality. If this is your first time here, and again, I don't dissociate spirituality from what you call the human experience. The purpose is actually to combine it because we are both, right? So we are part human and part whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I'm saying this to say, spirituality, it's not, you know, it's part of your life. It's your birthright. That's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, with no further ado, now with that being said, so if you've been following me, so I talked about the ego. I broke it down, letting you know exactly exactly what it is, and then I also talk about the fake self, which is pretty much a self that that has been created based on your emotional patterns. We're also talking about conditionings. We're talking about your upbringing. It's all one in so many words, but just different aspects of your conditioning. That's all that is. And we also talk about the true self. Do you see what I'm saying? And I've been giving you guys a couple of tips on how to actually get to your true self, right? So just a brief recap on your fixed self and how it came to be, right? Because I haven't really talked about that, but I figured, I'll drop a little jewels. But most importantly, man, hit me up for a consultation, because there's a lot of shit, there's a lot of layers that needs to be talked about that in so many words that I haven't really talked about, but I'll talk about one of them here, right? So when we talk about the fake self, how it is created based on external values, but most importantly, um, the ideal, the motivation behind it is actually pleasing other people. That's all it is. And I'll give you a perfect example, right? My daughter, love her to death. I mean, love her to death, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but, I'm just saying. Right. And then I don't know what she did. There was something that she did, right? And she was like, Dad, are you proud of me? I'm like, what the fuck? Snatched that little bitch. I'm like, yo, listen, I don't care about what you do. Regardless if it's good or bad, daddy would always be proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And the way she looked at me and it's like, oh. So I'm saying this to say something as simple as this, right? Because I was able to understand, if I were to tell her I was proud of what she did, now what's going to happen is because you got to understand the psychological of everything. And I'm telling you right now how the fake self is actually being created. So now, when you tell a kid or when you reward a kid, let's just say, you got an A, daddy loves you. You got an A, mommy loves you, right? So technically, what you're telling this kid is that it's you showing a conditional love. But on top of it, too, you're not allowing them to be themselves. Now you telling them that I love you when you get an A. So by me, when she asked me if I was proud of her, by me saying no, it doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck about none of what you did. I was allowing her to be herself. Because what happened is when you tell the kid, okay, now I'm proud of you because you did this. So now they start to learn. Now their values. Now for me, okay, I want daddy to be proud of me. Now I got to do the things that that will make him happy. Do you see the underline how now you building the kid to start pleasing myself and other people? Well, that's not my case, but I'm just saying. And that's how in so many words now, the kid goes from, willing to please you, knowing what they got to do to please you, not being themselves. because what I did pretty much, I fucking destroyed the whole fucking anything you got to do to please me. No, bitch, like no. I love you regard. You trapped. Like I told her, you trapped. I love you regardless in this life and the next, motherfucker. Like you trapped. So there's nothing you're gonna do. So by me saying that to her, it's allowing her to be herself. But let's just say if I were to be like, yes, I'm proud of you, now she would know exactly what to do. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's how it pretty much start building up, pretty much, for a lot of us. So now we know what to do to please other people, what to do to be fit. And that's how you are creating this new person, which is the fake self. Because again, it's not related to your true self. Sorry. Oh, damn. Because it's not based on your true self. Mm-hmm. Ah, water's fuck. But anyway, and that's pretty much how, you creating a pattern for the kid to do shit that, first of all, that she doesn't like, but things that she know that she would be appreciated for. So therefore, now she knows she would be valued. Daddy would be proud of her for doing external shit. And that's how a lot of us now start to, that's where you start going through the fucking identity crisis. Because now you know this is what you got to do to be acceptable. Now you know that's what you got to do to be loved. And that's how the fake self is being created. So naturally and unknowingly, you are drifting away from your natural self, which is your creative self, your pure self, do you see what I'm saying? Like, and everything else you could think about your true self. Pure, creative, imaginative, loving, not being scared, just that's why children always tell the truth. It's like that's that part of them. So they only pick up, the other stuff as they go on. So those conditioning, that's what brought you to what I'm calling the fixed self, only because it's not related to the true person that you are. That's just another way of breaking it down. But there's so many layers. That's why you motherfuckers gotta get me. You gotta hit me up. I'm gonna put my fucking email address. If you want this work, we're gonna work through all those layers so you understand how the fixed self is actually created. And that was one of the examples on how now you start your values. You start basing your values based on external shit, your achievement now. Now, and as you're doing so, there's an emptiness inside of you. You don't know how to be yourself anymore because now that's what you got to do to be lovable, it's for somebody else to be proud of you. Yo, this shit is real, dog. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And when I told her that too, I could feel like a sense of release. Because I do know what she's getting from, the school. And unfortunately, I know what she's getting from her mother too. The communication is not, hey, listen, man, I tried. I tried, but the shit about black women, dog, whew, that shit is real, dog. I'm saying, hey, I'll let Kevin Samuel handle that shit. That shit is real. Like I don't even want to talk about that shit. That's how real that shit is. Unfortunately, man, the low self esteem in black women and men too. But anyway, that's way too much for me. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, so in so many words, now you can see how the false self was created. So I'm gonna give you some gems as far as understanding what I'm calling by the fake self, which is because it was created and also based on those external and emotional patterns and your experiences and shit like that. So, but anyway, fast forward. So I gave you a few tips on actually how to pretty much unfuck yourself. What you're doing now, you're going back, right? Well, not necessarily going back. You actually going forward by going back, but I'm not gonna get into it. There's different aspect to it, but all I'm saying is now you are pretty much have a higher consciousness by analyzing what has taken place. So it's not necessarily you going back, but it's just like the higher your higher consciousness now allows you to see what was hidden. Okay, but anyway, um, so I talked about understanding positivity and negativity and everything. And the purpose of that was pretty much to open up your mind, give you a broader perspective, because coming from the fake self, you have a limited way of seeing things, right? And then I also talk about the other tip that I give you guys was pretty much about shit, gray area. Now that you're acknowledging positivity and negativity, now you see a gray area, and I'm telling you there's a progression scale, or there's a scale between the gray area. You don't, it's small changes or big steps. It just in so many words, that's what that was. Now the third tips that I'm going to give you guys pretty much is just as you're doing that, and I think I found myself always doing that too, and pretty much in spirituality that's what they call it. You got to ground yourself, or in so many words, what I'm trying to say is you got to center everything, right? Because as you're making those changes, it's not going to happen overnight. So what's going to happen is sometimes as you're making those progressions, you're going to tend to kind of like go back, which is natural. Don't beat yourself up, and that's why I'm saying centered, grounding yourself, being mindful. In so many words, when you grind, I mean, the fuck, when you ground yourself, what you're doing is you're being mindful of where you are. And there are so many rituals that could help you to do that. Meditation is one of them. Like walking barefoot, pretty much, or bare feet, I guess. Just to ground yourself. But the purpose here is to be mindful. You don't want to be walking around like bare feet and shit and not understanding what you're doing. Okay, so when you get in touch with the soil, with the ground, with the, I don't know, the floor, whatever, however the fuck you want to call it, the whole purpose for you to be mindful. Okay, so there's many aspect of it. So whatever the fuck helps you to be mindful or to be centered, that's the third step, because as now you understanding the pros and cons, you understanding the positivity and negativity, and you making those steps towards your true self. You understand the gray area, the point five that I talk about. If I'm not gonna get into it. Just watch that shit. And then now you gotta center yourself, because as you're making those steps, and unfortunately a lot of us we're looking to change fast. Doesn't work that way, bro. Like, I know it. I mean, we all went through it. I mean, I only know it, well, I shouldn't say I only know it now. I mean, I know it a little, while ago. And but before I knew it, though, it was a minute. Put it this way, it was a progress. Do you see what I'm saying? Because now you're progressing into your new self, your true self. So center yourself, man. That's all. Um, let's see if there's something else I wanted to say. Now, well, we're gonna save it for the next one. We're gonna keep it short. That way, I don't have you're not being invaded by or bombarded by a lot of information. And that's it, man. So hit me up. I'm gonna have my email address here, a free consultation. I could give you a free consultation, and then kind of go from there, because I feel like there's a lot that has to be said, and just like by using my daughter's example, because I want to be able to make you see how the fake self is created. And it's not like your true self was never there, but it was there, but because of those conditioning, so you unknowingly and naturally stray away from it until years later, after years of emptiness and trying to find yourself, trying to see what you really like. Because if you really think about it, none of us should have to, after fucking 20, 50, like 30, 25 years, 30 years for some of us, shit, it took me about 30 years for me too. Yeah. To finally, like, okay, that's what I want. It shouldn't be that way. And the tool, us as parents, unfortunately, you can't give what you don't have, right? So it's important for you to understand the psychological aspect of raising a child, but most importantly, that's why all is mental. It's all spiritual, and that's why, again, I don't dissociate spirituality from your true life, because it is your true life. You see what I'm saying? It's a matter of understanding that the person that you are is just more than just the physical self that you're looking at. You got to grasp everything about you, just like in nature. You plant something, right? It takes time for it to grow. There's something happening that you and I don't see. The same thing with this knowledge. As you're learning about it, there's something that's being taken place in you. It's going to grow in you. You're going to become that. So that's how, in so many words, we are the same with nature. We relate to nature. To say fuck nature is to say fuck yourself in so many words. And that's how us in our African spirituality, we pretty much embrace everything. The moon is our brother, is our sister, because you see God in everything, because you understanding yourself. Because the same principles, the same, whatever is taking place in nature is also taking place in you. And that's how you grow physically, mentally, spiritually, and all that shit. Your body grows, the person you were as little, and then you're gonna die. Dying, guess what? It's another form of transformation. As we see in nature, the different season is death and rebirth. So eternity is right in front of you. But we've been, I guess, conditioned to look at infinity as there's no death at all. Well, guess what? There's no death at all. It's simply transformation. But again, if you're looking at it from an outward perspective, then I guess it's just the end. But from an inward perspective, if you're understanding your life, how you work, and how you relate to your environment, then you would understand, there's no such thing as death or hell for that matter, but that's a whole different topic too, and how the whole hell mentality is actually created out of fear. And now, of course, you don't want to die. Why would you not want to die? It's part of your life. That's what you go through. And then, anyway, that's a whole different topic in itself, but has nothing to do with true spirituality, with the life that you're living. Those are fairy tales that are being said to you, again, fucking your mind up. But the truth is right in front of you. You're living it every day. You see it every day. You see nature. You see yourself. Understanding your emotions, fire emotions inside of you. Why they calling it, like your willpower is fire? Because it motivates you in so many words. So again, the purpose of being spiritual is to be a great human being. You're not gonna be a great spiritual and be a shady fucking human being. It doesn't work that way. I haven't seen it yet. If you have, let me know. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, the things that people that are one-minded, and that's what we call human, and I get the idea behind it, because they don't see the other side of them. They don't grasp that spirituality side of them. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you're looking at it from, like, that's why you wanna that from the fixed self, and so in so many words, and that's what a lot of our occultists unfortunately call the ego, but it's not necessarily the ego. And I broke that down. Your ego is your partner, dog. You know what I'm saying? But again, the whole purpose of understanding your fake self, your true self, is for you to make peace with yourself. And you making peace with yourself by when you're being realigned with your true self, that's making peace with yourself. And as you're making peace with yourself, guess what happens? Now you become more relatable to the universe because now you understand what's happening in the nature. That's what's happening in you. Guess what? Now you become cosmic. Simplicity reveals the master, man. I'm gonna let it go. Late night, wanted to drop the thing, this thing real quick. Sip some water, get my smoke on, and call it the night, man. Nothing but love. You know what I'm saying? I shin. My leg.